Guys, I know there's a lot of you waiting for the results of the autopsy result and the IOPC investigation, but after watching this video, I've already started losing hope with the IOPC investigation. You'll see why, guys.
The anger, the lack of confidence and the lack of trust in British policing spreads far, far further than just the pavements outside New Scotland Yard. And it's no surprise to me and millions of others, I'm sure. We have had a litany of utterly appalling scandal after scandal. And yet again, yesterday, another police officer appearing in court charged with rape and other sexually related offences.
Guys, did you hear what he just said? Another officer has been charged with rape. Not a officer, another officer. How many officers have we got out there that are rapists?
When is it ever going to stop? Well, I fear it's going to be a long time before it does, but really dramatic, radical things have to be done, or else the model of policing by consent is truly at risk.
Donna, do you accept the pretty bleak picture there that Peter has painted?
Yeah, I do accept that the trust and confidence in policing across the country has taken a massive blow, particularly over the last 2 years. The Me Too movement, victims coming forward, historic offences being reported. Police officers are, the same as many other people across the country, but they are given this very special protected position that they carry a warrant card.
Guys, she's talking about the same warrant card that was used by an off-duty officer in the Sarah Everard case to trick her, to get her in the back of his car before he killed her.
Now, we know that we are always going to have bad people, whether it's in journalism, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in policing.
We're going to always have bad people, whether it's in journalism, whether it's in policing. I don't know about you, but I don't want bad people in the police. I want them to be good people so that they can protect us.
The difference is about how a police force or how a hospital or how a news agency deals with those complaints and those issues when they come in. The Met got this wrong. They knew, for example, with David Carrick, there was stuff going on with him for a number of years. 2 decades he was able to abuse his position.
2 decades he was allowed to abuse his position. That's 20 years. And if they let him get away with abusing and raping women for 20 years, how can we trust them with the Nicola Bulley case? How can we trust them to find the truth and not make cover-ups?
So I don't think police forces should be judged about the bad people they have in them. Listen, but where they should be judged is about how they deal with them when they become aware of them.
Aren't they already aware of them? I mean, haven't they already recruited hundreds and thousands of criminals?
And the Met got this wrong.
Peter, of course, the big story this week has been the Nicola Bulley story, mysterious case. It's been 3 weeks or more now since she disappeared. There has been huge amounts of criticism levelled at Lancashire police, and I can't help but feel that some of it isn't fair in terms of revealing these details. Apparently they did have the say-so from the family. Apparently there were also reports that people were selling or willing to sell stories about this woman who has disappeared. So sometimes the police seem to get abuse when perhaps they don't deserve it. What do you think?
Lancashire Police's handling of the information flow, their communications with the media and then in turn the public, has been absolutely catastrophic. It's been appalling. And actually, the words alcohol and perimenopause have been used as, have become a distraction from what the real issue is here. And what...
Guys, if you listen to my other videos, you'll probably hear me talk about this, about how they used the alcohol and the perimenopause as a distraction. Well, this expert ex-police officer's just said exactly the same thing.
Lancashire Police have done, and maybe what they've tried to advise Nicola's partner to do, is actually suppress the truth.
What they've advised Nicola's partner to do is suppress the truth. Guys, why would you want to suppress the truth? If you really want to find out what happened to a helpless victim, would you want nothing but the truth?
And that's a very serious matter. They've only released information when they've been backed into a corner because of the nationwide media and huge public interest. Nobody within Lancashire Police, in terms of the communications, has had the ability to look round the corner, to anticipate what might be coming down the line, and essentially, from the very start, tell the truth.
Guys, I think that's exactly what everybody wanted from the beginning. They just wanted them to tell the truth.
When Nicola went missing, on the first day or the second day, very early on, they had said, this is a vulnerable woman with mental health issues, both of which matters would have been factually correct. That would have quite possibly stopped any further more invasive details having to be released, and of course would have been truthful. Not to mention the fact, of course, that Lancashire Police chose not to release the details of their visit to Nicola's house on the 10th of January. That's the matter that's been reported to the IOPC.
Guys, why has that been reported to the IOPC? Is it because the police made failings on that day that they visited her house? Did they do the wrong things? Did they make mistakes? Are they worried about getting caught? Is that why they've handed themselves in with this matter?
Once again, we've got police behaving appallingly.
But Donna, do you think they could have anticipated that this particular case would have had this much media and public interest? Because, of course, I think it's hundreds of thousands of people go missing in this country every year. Do you think perhaps they were simply overwhelmed, to put it kindly? Of course, they're not here to give their case.
It feels to me like the media strategy has been handled by several different people, and there's not been a consensus flow here. As you've just quite rightly said, hundreds of thousands of people go missing every year. And if this had been a lady called Nicola Bulley has gone missing today, in this particular area near the River Wire, and we're asking people to be vigilant and keep their eyes and ears open and report anything, it would.
Why didn't they tell people to be vigilant and keep their eyes and ears open when she went missing? Why did they just assume that she fell into the river? Did they make prejudgments about her because they knew that she drank and that she's going through perimenopause?
Not have had the media speculation it has. I think they appear to have been quick to say that she'd fallen in the water.
They were definitely quick to say that she's fallen in the water, and they're still saying that now. They believe that their hypothesis has been proven right, that she fell into the water. Where's the evidence that she fell into the water? I mean, is there any evidence that she fell into the water? I know that her body was found 3 weeks later, a mile up in the water, but she could have been put there. And how do we know that she fell? How do we not know that she was pushed? Shouldn't things be based on facts so that we can actually find out the truth of what happened to Nicola Bulley? Or are we just going to all assume that she just fell into the water?
We obviously don't know the full facts of what's been going on. We only know parts of it. And so it is dangerous to us to be speculating. However, if she was registered as a missing person who perhaps was vulnerable, and normally that's as far as the police will go. So if it's someone who's got dementia, or it's a young person, a young female.
Guys, I think this whole vulnerability thing's being exaggerated. If she was so vulnerable, why was she allowed to drive the car? Why was she allowed to take the kids to school on her own? If she had such a big drink problem, why was she allowed to drive? Why would her friends and family let her drive? Something just doesn't seem right there. And also, this whole vulnerability thing is based on just one day of events when the police came to visit her house on the 10th of January. It's not like the police came many times to her house in the past, or she was vulnerable for years, or she had a massive history of vulnerability. They came just once on the 10th of January, 17 days before she went missing.
Female who's at risk of child sexual exploitation, a 16-year-old girl that may have gone missing, they will class them as vulnerable, which highlights to the public there is more going on here. If that's what had been put out, I don't think there would have been this big media speculation, and perhaps it would have given Lancashire Police more time to have got their thoughts and the hypothesis around what has happened to the tragedy of the missing Nicola Bulley. It would have given them a bit more breathing space here. It doesn't appear to have been handled well, but like I say, I'm loath to criticise another police force at this stage because we only have a percentage of the information.
And therein lies part of the problem, Donna, because you as a police and crime commissioner, reluctant to criticise, so many of the facts are there. So many of the facts actually deserve criticism. And you will be seen by viewers and listeners watching this as part of the policing establishment and somebody who's manifestly failing or unwilling to stand up to wrongdoing, to hold these people to account and to give us a police service, the length and breadth of the country, that is fit for purpose, truthful, open and honest, and doesn't employ criminals.
Donna.
Guys, it is a bit worrying that they recruit criminals. I mean, the fact that their own staff could be committing all these crimes is a bit scary. I mean, what do you guys think? Should they be vetting people properly? Should they be letting in criminals, people with history of rape or sexual abuse, sexual assaults? I mean, what do you guys think?
I guess Peter's right in a way that there will be people at home who think you would say that, you're a police and crime commissioner, you would say, well, essentially want to not cover their backs, but give them the benefit of the doubt when perhaps they need more scrutiny, more criticism, and for their failures to be held to account.
No, well, I disagree with that. Peter was the establishment. He was a police officer. I'm not. I'm a member of the public. I'm somebody who stood up, put my head above the parapet, stood up for election, and I'm stood up being counted for the 2 million people that I represent. But I am also a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, and I'm cognizant of the fact that she's got 2 little girls out there and a partner and her parents who are heartbroken, and I'm trying to provide some calm here, which is what, by the way, the force and the family have asked to happen. Now, the IOPC are looking into this. They will come up with their investigations. It's not for me to try and get Lancashire Police off the hook in any way. This is about trying to bring some calm to enable professionals to do the job that they need to do, both in terms of the complaint and the detectives that are working on this case at the moment, to try and get to the truth of what's happened. Some of this mudslinging doesn't help. We will get there with the outcome of the IOPC investigation.
Well, Peter, just very quickly, that is true what Donna said there. We do create a circus, do we not?
There are many people, the length and breadth of the country, who have reported matters to the IOPC and had very unsatisfactory conclusions.
Guys, he said many people have had unsatisfactory conclusions with the IOPC. Now that's really worrying. There's a lot of us that are waiting for this investigation, waiting to find out the truth. And if they've already got a poor history of finding out the truth, then will we ever find out the truth of what happened to Nicola Bulley?
Those investigations, so I'm not taking that at all. Donna failed to point out that she's a politician, and of course politician from a party that used to claim to be the party of law and order. Well, that of course sadly now is utterly laughable. The only way that policing is going to get out of this crisis and try and regain trust and confidence is by looking itself in the mirror, accepting when it's wrong as opposed to being forced to admit that things are wrong, and being truthful. And at the moment we're a long, long way away from that with too many police services in the country.
Donna, I'll give you the last word.
Well, you know, Peter calls me a politician. We're both here on TV giving our opinions. The difference between me and Peter is that I have a legal mandate to do this because I've been elected by 2 million people. I'll leave it there.